Why didn't I already know about this show? Why didn't you all tell me? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, I'm Laura, and I'm basically just a weird chick who likes to talk about whatever the heck she feels like talking about. And today I want to talk about a show that, first of all, I totally needed in my life when I was a teen, and second of all, needed in my life 4 years ago or whenever the heck it came out. Why did I just find out about it like 3 weeks ago? What's going on, guys? This is literally one of the best shows I have ever seen, hands down. And I didn't even know about it. What about you guys? Did you guys know about this show? If not, I'm gonna tell you all my thoughts on it and tell you why you should watch this show. So the show I'm talking about, if you couldn't tell from the title, is My Mad Fat Diaries. This is a British show that you can watch on Hulu. Now, it came out a few years ago. I'm not sure exactly how many years ago, but I just found out about it like 3 weeks ago by accident. And I think it was 4 seasons, and it is based off of the book by Ray Earl, which was loosely based on her life as a teen in England. So basically, why I wanted to talk about this show is because I think this show is amazing. Literally could not stop watching it. I started it, spent the entire day watching it, went to sleep, woke up, finished the show. Couldn't stop, was obsessed. It was everything I have wanted and needed, 1, in a teen show, and 2, when I was a teen. I have always complained, and I talked about this in my Shrill review. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it in the cards. But I come from the perspective of being, you know, as I call a fat girl. I know people don't like the word fat, a plus size, a fluffy, whatever you want to call it. I'm a big girl, okay? And so I wanted to review Shrill, which is supposed to be about a big girl, and what I thought of it. So if you want to see what I think of that, like I said, linked in the cards. But I wanted to come from this show from the same perspective because it's about a main character who is overweight, and that's a huge focus of the show. And all too often I've argued that there aren't enough shows that show what it's actually like. Sometimes you'll get some plus size people who they'll, 1, call plus size but is not really plus size, or 2, it's not really an accurate portrayal of what it feels like to be in that position. And My Mad Fat Diaries, I felt like it was me. I felt so seen as a young teen girl. Like what I felt like back then. I wish I was a young teen girl still. But I've never felt so validated and seen, and just, if you were overweight in high school, watch this show because it will just make you feel like someone understands what you went through. And not just if you were overweight, but the main character also deals with mental illness in high school, and totally here for that. So if you struggle with those things and you felt like you never saw anything that represented how you felt as a teen, watch this show. It will, I had to take a day or two to kind of wrangle my emotions after watching it because it brought up so much, but it also healed a lot in another way. I don't know, it was very moving. So I want to talk about a few of the things that I felt like were really important and that I really liked. This should be spoilerish free. It's more about the themes of the show rather than actual plot points. So, all right, so let me tell you what were some of the things that I really liked in this show. But just as a basic summary, it's just about a teen girl who was early on in high school, was having some issues, ended up going into a mental hospital, and then once she comes out, she has to get reacquainted with the world and try to stay mentally healthy. So that's what it's about. So the first thing I really liked about it was the portrayal of mental illness with depression. There were other characters who had other issues, suicide ideation, body image issues, just anxiety. All of these things are so well represented and addressed in the show, and it really focuses a lot on the misunderstanding of mental illness by other people, even people who love and care about you, who just don't quite get how you feel, the ways in which it interferes in your life when you're trying so hard to be better and do better, and just the struggle and the shame that comes along with it. It just really is so accurate to how, not only just how it feels now, but especially when you're a teen, when there's so many other things going on and you're just trying to understand yourself in the world, and you have these things that just make it that much harder to get through. And then of course it talks about, you know, being overweight as a teen girl and the stigma of that and the shame of that and the problems that come with that. The not wanting to be looked at or draw attention to yourself, the wanting to hide, not feeling comfortable in your own body, not feeling confident even when there are people around you who love you and support you and don't care about those things. You still care about all the other things around you. I mean, you don't stop caring about what people think until you're much older. I mean, hell, I still kind of care. Just a little bit. But you know, it's when you're a teen, it's so hard. It's so hard. And Ray really struggles with that in the show, and it's just so accurate. It brought back so many feelings for me. It was just, it really portrays that feeling of uncomfortability in your own skin. Also, Ray goes through what a lot of us big girls do, or a lot of us who are not your typical girly kind of girl, is she's often on the show portrayed as one of the guys rather than a love interest, rather than someone who's dateable or seen as a girl. Like, they're always just like, oh, you're just one of the guys. They never really consider her, and how that makes her feel. This happens a lot to those of us who are plus size, who are tomboys, who don't fit into this stereotype of what it's like to be a young girl. And Ray really struggles with that and really is frustrated by that. But a lot of that comes with when you're overweight, at least for me, and what this show kind of corroborated was, when you're bigger, you don't feel comfortable in your skin, in your body, and you don't feel comfortable having people notice it. So you tend to, what I did was wear a lot of big clothes, boys' clothes, anything that was girly. I didn't feel comfortable because I didn't feel like a woman in my own body. I had a lot of body issues and a lot of, I don't want to say gender issues because I don't want that to be mistaken, but just feeling like being bigger made me less of a woman somehow, that I just didn't portray what people were expecting of me, or that I couldn't, or I didn't feel comfortable. So Ray really struggles with that a lot, and it really, really hit home for me. But then another topic that comes up is that even when you're in a relationship, even when someone sees you, the real you, and you think that's the most amazing thing in the world, it doesn't solve your problems, because you still have the rest of the world to deal with, and you still have your own mind to deal with. And so it doesn't solve your problems. Just because someone loves you for you doesn't mean the rest of the world just falls away. And you often, when you have mental health issues, or you're dealing with your weight or body image issues, they can ruin these relationships that you have, whether they be love relationships, friendships, because you get in your own way sometimes because you're so upset or stressed or dealing with so much. And Ray goes through that through all 4 seasons. She's constantly self-sabotaging, and she doesn't mean to, but she feels all of these things, and she doesn't quite know how to navigate them. And sometimes those relationships aren't good. Sometimes they're toxic. But because we don't love ourselves enough, because we don't think we're good enough, we get in these toxic relationships where we think, well, we should just be lucky somebody loves us, or someone wants to be around us, and we should just put up with whatever behavior they give us. And we oftentimes, I know I did as a teen girl, I got myself in relationships that were incredibly toxic because I just wanted to be loved, and I just thought I should feel lucky that anyone wanted me or liked me, and I put up with such garbage and so many things that were traumatizing that I really regret that. And Ray does the same thing, and it's just something that we tend to do. And I, on a side note, feel so lucky that I found my husband. I mean, he was just like, he's amazing. And I'm lucky that I found him very young, but a lot of girls don't, and they put up with things they shouldn't, and even when they get good love, they don't feel like they deserve it. And Ray really kind of goes through these emotions throughout the seasons. And then the last thing is I love that they represent Ray, because this was so me. See, the show takes place in the 90s, and that's when I was in high school, so I was like, oh my god, this is me. I mean, I wasn't in the UK, but she was really into like alternative music, and she really used that as a way to, as a sort of catharsis, to feel her feelings. Our alternative music tends to be a lot about emotion, deep thought, empathy, misunderstanding, being misunderstood, feeling ostracized, and that was me. That was so me in high school. Music meant everything to me. It's what got me through high school. It's what made me feel like I connected with other people, and I loved seeing a character who represented that, because there were so many of us in the 90s. Grunge, alternative, I mean, that was our music. That was our souls there, and Ray really just represented that, and I loved that about her. So yeah, this was sort of an impassioned review. It wasn't like funny or quirky, but I just feel so strongly about this show. I mean, I can't tell you enough, like, it just made my heart feel better. It made, okay, don't cry, Laura. Whew. I get like this sometimes, you guys. Plus, you know, it's about that time of the month, but it made 16-year-old Laura feel like she wasn't alone. Like, she wasn't the only one who went through that. And while it brought up a lot of bad feelings and memories, it also brought so many other feelings: connection, understanding, hope, you know, and just, I can't explain, and I know a lot of you probably understand this. If you are a marginalized person in any sort of way, I can't explain to you what it feels to see your experience represented in film or television. And so I just finally felt like this was my experience. I wasn't Dawson's Creek, you know, with all these boys falling in love with me. And it wasn't the OC, where I was super rich and going to TJ on spring break, you know. It was me, trapped in my own head, trapped in my own body, and just trying to love myself. And that's what this show is about. And I really hope that if you get the chance to, and you haven't seen it yet, you watch My Mad Fat Diaries on Hulu. If you have seen it, comment down below. Let me know, what did you think about it? Did you love it as much as I did? And if you haven't seen it, what are some shows that you really felt like encapsulated your experience in high school, and like who you were? I'd love to hear about other TV shows or other ways that you connected with this kind of stuff. So, all right, guys, I just wanted to share that with you because I was truly moved by this show, and I just wanted to, I guess, shout it to the world. So thank you guys for sticking with me and listening to my thoughts on this show, and I hope that you feel connected to others as well, and know that you're not alone, because though your experience makes you feel ostracized, there's always someone out there who can understand. All right, guys, thanks so much as always for watching. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you have yet to subscribe, make sure you do so, and I will see you on Monday, because I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at noon. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.